Okay, today we're checking out some paddles from a relatively new company called MOZI. We have the Galaxy Pro, which is a pretty traditional Gen 2 paddle sporting a 12K and T700 blend face. And then we have the Gold Rush, which is an incredibly unique paddle with a titanium face that really challenges what we think titanium paddles play like. And we're going to talk all about both of them. But before we get too far into things, I wanted to let you know MOZI is letting me give one of their paddles away for free, so be sure to stick around until the end of the video to see how to enter. But if you want to get a head start, you can go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, I wanted to let you know I'm working on a video of my favorite pickleball accessories, so that's another reason to subscribe because you really won't want to miss that one. And if you want a sneak peek, I've got a list down in the video description of a lot of the gear I've been testing out, so don't be afraid to click around. On top of that, I've now put together a list of some of my favorite pickleball gear you can find on Amazon, and there's some real hidden gems in there for anyone craving to add something to their bag right away. I'll include a link to that down there as well. And be sure to stick around until after the paddle reviews because I'll be highlighting some of MOZI's own accessories, and they've got some really cool stuff that you might want to check out. And now let's get into the paddles. I want to start with the Gold Rush first because this one really stands out in the market right now and it's got some super interesting specs. The Gold Rush is a 16mm paddle and its face is 3K carbon fiber with titanium integration, and we'll touch on what exactly titanium means in a little bit. The shape is elongated, it's thermoformed, and it has edge foam. However, this paddle is not unibody, and I was told that was because of how the mold is constructed. It's a Gen 2 paddle with a polypropylene core, and it has a traditional core design, so no additional foam like in a Gen 3 paddle, and it has normal polypropylene honeycomb as its interior. The dimensions are 16.5 by 7.44 inches. The grip length is 5.5 inches. The grip circumference is 4.25 inches. The paddle does come with a weight kit. There is a 6-month manufacturing defects warranty, and the price is $197.10 after you use promo code MatthewK to knock off 10%. And it is USAP approved. Okay, let's talk about the Gold Rush's surface really quickly. It uses polyester threads with this metallic gold sheen that's oftentimes referred to as titanium within the pickleball paddle tech world. If you want more info on this material and the surrounding controversy, I talk about it in detail in my bread and butter Shogun review, which was really the first paddle on the scene that utilized this kind of surface. And what this titanium surface typically does is help the paddle have a very plush feeling face that really allows the ball to sink in and dwell a bit. In other words, it helps a paddle feel soft by dampening the pop, which helps you have some real finesse in the short game. However, the Gold Rush is an exception to that rule, in my opinion. While the 3K carbon fiber and titanium blend allows for a great grab on the ball, and you can add all the spin you want, this paddle is the opposite of soft, in my opinion. The Gold Rush is instead a power and pop beast. Compared to the Neonic Flare, the Honolulu J2 Titanium, the bread and butter Shogun, and even the Gen 3 Nexus Pro Star, all of which utilize titanium in their surfaces, the MOZI Gold Rush is a freaking machine gun in the short game with a rocket launcher built into it for the baseline game. I think more than anything, this has to do with how MOZI manipulated the Gold Rush's core, which became clear to me when I was getting info on the differences between its core and the Galaxy Pro paddle's core, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But what it comes down to is MOZI intentionally created a stiffer core with the Gold Rush, and that rigidity translates to a ton of pop. Like a ton. It reminded me of an OG Legacy Pro from an early batch. And it also has a ton of power as well with that elongated design. As a control-oriented player myself, I ended up using a bit of tungsten down on the bottom corners to tone the pop down a bit, and that was just to make it more manageable for me. This thing still pops like nobody's business, even with that customization. Also, the weight I used with the Gold Rush were these pre-cut balance pods from Enhanced Pickleball. This tuning tape does cost a little bit more than Bodhi's tungsten tape, which is what I usually use, which comes in both 0.5 grams per inch and 1 gram per inch versions. However, the Balance Pod's gold look just really fit with the Gold Rush's design, and I just wanted to keep this paddle as sexy as possible because it's a real thing of beauty. Also, I really do like how the enhanced balance pods have the exact same footprint as the old pre-cut lead tape we all used to use, and I have links for both down in the description, and promo code MatthewK will save you some money with both companies. As for the Gold Rush, who's this paddle for? I'd say it's for someone that wants a titanium paddle that looks really, really cool, but also wants to hit really, really hard. this paddle definitely bangs. And as I said before, it hits harder than every titanium paddle I've tested and is right up there with the OG Legacy Pro in the power and pop department. And while a little weight did help make it a little more controllable for me, this is definitely for players that want to play aggressively and be able to access maximum power with every hit. It would also be a good choice for someone that wants a power paddle that plays linearly rather than a dynamic power paddle. I talked quite a bit about the differences between linear and dynamic paddles in my Hudef Viva Pro Gen 2 review in case you're curious. But the short of it is, if you want a paddle that has a consistent power output for how much input you bring with your swing, this would be a good option. So folks that want to be able to drive as deep as a Gen 3 paddle, for example, but want more consistency when they transition between a soft or a hard hit, this would be a great paddle to look at. And once again, I talk about that in my Hudef Viva Pro Gen 2 review from a while back, as well as my recent video on the Rhombus R2 Nova in case you want to learn more. As for value, this is the most expensive titanium paddle I've looked at. After promo code MatthewK knocks off 10%, its price is very close to $200. That being said, I think this should probably be compared more to the popular power paddles out right now, like the Gearbox Pro, the Mod TA15 from Yola, the Rhombus Ripple, and all the other hard-hitting Gen 3 paddles coming onto the scene, rather than the more control-oriented and all-court titanium paddles. And while the Gold Rush isn't a Gen 3 paddle, its power is definitely competitive in the current landscape, in my opinion. Plus, the Gold Rush also has some insane pop, and that combo seems to be very much in demand, and paddles that deliver in both of those categories seem to always charge a premium. However, MOZI isn't a super established brand, so there's not much of a track record to look at, but to be honest, after everything we saw with Yola this year, I don't think being established carries quite as much weight and importance as it once did. So, do I recommend it? If you want to get in on the titanium craze, but still have a paddle with a lot of power and pop, this one is about your only option. So if that's you, I would definitely recommend it, even at that price point. Okay, now I want to take a look at another paddle from MOZI's line. This is pretty much the complete opposite of the Gold Rush. This is the Galaxy Pro. It's a 60mm paddle. Its face is 12K in Japanese Toray T700 carbon fiber twill. It's a hybrid, and it's thermoformed unibody with edge foam, so it's a Gen 2 paddle and it has a polypropylene core. And like the Gold Rush, this one is a traditional core design, so no additional foam, and it has normal polypropylene honeycomb interior. And the dimensions are 16.3 by 7.44 inches. The grip length is 5.71 inches. The grip circumference is 4.25 inches. The weight is 7.84 ounces, and it also includes MOZI's weight kit, and there is a 6-month manufacturing defects warranty. And this one is a little cheaper at $179.10 after you use promo code MatthewK to knock off 10%. And once again, this is USAP approved. Okay, to really summarize things, this paddle is designed to be more control-oriented. According to MOZI, they intentionally designed the Galaxy Pro's core to be different from the one used in the Gold Rush. They said they wanted, quote, a more flexible core with less pop. And they succeeded in that 100%. This paddle plays a lot like other control-leaning all-court hybrids that are popular with lots of folks, like the Vatic Pro Flash, the Honolulu J2, the Double Black Diamond, and even lesser-known paddles like the Triple J Judah. Also, the 12K and Japanese Toray T700 carbon fiber twill they're using on the face plays just as well as all the other paddles I just mentioned. I think the surface might actually be overkill because the core plays so soft and gives you so much dwell time. I'm not sure I clocked any extra spin coming from what I imagine is a more costly surface. However, maybe that spin will last longer than what we see with the typical carbon fiber we see used in most paddles. Time will tell on that front. All that being said, who's this for? Well, I think it's for anyone looking for an all-court hybrid that wants a paddle that cuts through the air super fast while having a surface that can add a ton of spin and grab the ball for all those trickier shots. However, I will say this particular category is a bit more crowded and has some budget options that really makes that $179.10 price tag after promo code MatthewK knocks off 10% a little difficult to swallow. But if that 12K Toray T700 surface plays grittier longer, that would definitely help justify the Galaxy Pro's price. So if anyone's played with one of these for a couple of months, please comment below how the spin holds up, and I'll try and pin your comment so everyone can get an idea. Okay, so these are really both solid paddles, and I think the Gold Rush is the real standout. But if that grit on the Galaxy Pro lasts a super long time, I think it could be a solid all-court option as well. But before we get into the giveaway, I wanted to highlight some of MOZI's other gear, some of which might end up in my top pickleball accessories video that I've been working on. So don't forget to subscribe because you won't want to miss that. First, I wanted to highlight MOZI's pickleball glasses. After promo code MatthewK, these things are only $22.50, and they are a real bargain. They seem just about as high quality as a lot of the top pickleball glasses out there, just at a way lower price point. And I think that bargain price must be due in part to how you can't swap out the lenses. And for me, I've actually noticed I don't really use that feature on the pricier glasses. It's just too much of a hassle to remove the lenses and the nose cushion and switch from day to night glasses or any other lens type. Instead, I find myself using two dedicated pairs, one for day play and one for night play. And I think MOZI's is a great option for day play. I didn't notice any weird fogging, and they have the fit and comfort level of similar pickleball glasses in this category. Also, they feel super durable and seem to have a quality build, unlike most of the glasses at this price point. And now that brings me to this. This is MOZI's open top backpack, and I love this thing. You see, I'm a 2-bag person at open play, so I typically bring a tournament bag that's loaded with all my essentials, and then I bring a second bag that has all the paddles I'm testing for that day that I bring onto the court with me in case I want to swap a paddle out while I'm playing. And I really like how MOZI's bag has an open top. It makes finding and pulling things out super easy. It also has a ton of compartments and is a true bargain at $31.50 after promo code MatthewK. This is just a super easy recommendation. Also, it feels like it's made of super quality material, and I think it's going to last a long time. The only note I have is that I hope MOZI will consider adding a fins hook to this design down the road. If it had that, it'd be a perfect bag, in my opinion. But I really can't complain too much at this price point, especially since it's pretty easy to add your own carabiner if you want that feature. As for the paddle giveaway, all you need to do is like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and comment below which MOZI paddle you're most interested and why. And there are a lot more on their site, so definitely take a look. And then fill out the Google form in the description so I have a way to contact you if you win. That's it. The raffle will be in about a month, so be on the lookout for an email. Good luck. And that's all I've got. I think MOZI is doing some super cool stuff. I think they've got a very diverse line of paddles using some cool design and tech. And then I think they have some real bargain accessories that are definitely worth checking out. I think MOZI is going to be a company to watch. Also, if you found this review helpful, please consider using promo code MatthewK on your next paddle purchase to help support the channel. I have a lot of the popular brands listed below, and my master list has even more. And I'll be sure to leave a link for MOZI's site at the very top. Don't forget to use promo code MatthewK for that 10% discount on their paddles and on their accessories. You can also support the channel by purchasing some of the cool pickleball gear I've been testing out by using the links and codes in the video description below. I also have that link to my favorite pickleball gear you can get on Amazon down there as well, and that's got some really cool hidden gems you wouldn't expect. And then of course, hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and slamming that notification bell all go a long way to helping me out as well. Thank you so much for the support. But most importantly, I hope you get to pickle soon, and just don't forget, it's about having fun.